Reading different parts of my book until I get noticed, part 1. Pitch black. That was the best way to describe the dream space I often found myself in. Most people dream instantaneously, without the existence of a void such as the one I found myself in now. Most of the time, I dreamt in a way someone naturally would, except on occasion where I would find myself in this particular room. I usually got flashes of scenes, memories you could call them, and it would always come with enormous migraines once I woke. The moment those flashes ended, the memories would all but fade, and I would always be left with the lingering feeling of something I could never quite remember. Then again, my mother did always say I had problems with disassociation. This time felt different. I was typically alone, except this time I instead found myself in the company of a shadow-like entity in the corner of the room. It had slowly creeped towards me, each step more unnerving than the last. I tried to move, but my legs refused to bend to my will, and an entity kept approaching. I desperately attempted to move myself backward a second time, but instead found myself stumbling face first onto the floor. The entity picked me up by my collar and shoved me into what felt like a wall, if there were one. The best way I could describe it would be a boundary of some sort, the limits of how far I could go. My heart sank into my chest when my eyes landed on a full-length mirror. Was that mirror always there? I gazed at my own reflection, but as I did, it felt off. It was me, but it wasn't. My eyes were glowing in a crimson red, and although I hadn't been grinning, my reflection was. She, my reflection, simply continued to smile, sending chills all throughout my spine as she spoke. How amusing. The little girl has finally woken up. I wish you luck. Little girl, I'm not... My heart leapt out of my chest as my eyes shot open in an instant and stared at an unfamiliar stone ceiling. My body ached and a horrible smell penetrated my nose. I felt confused, disoriented. I pushed myself off the rough and damp stone floor, propping myself up against the wall. Where am I? Is this real? My head pounded as I tried to run a million thoughts in my mind. I felt cramped in this small stone brick room. It was barely big enough for my body, and I was met with a door made of solid steel. There was no light save for a small crack in the closed slit of a window. And that is where I'll stop. Follow and like if you want to listen to more.